Recording. Okay. Yeah. So today, what we're gonna do today? We're gonna talk about quests. I set up one today, and I spent a lot of time. Well, I spent a lot of time over the last couple of years building the proper systems to build quests to make it way easier. So I'll just show you really quickly the quest I set up today. Fairly simple and straightforward. This isn't it, but actually, yeah. Let's talk to her first because it works with a bunch of different quests, and you have to do stuff in different orders because of the way the quests work. So yeah, I'm turning this in. This is as if I had just finished the first world. So I helped out this character, and now I'd be able to open up the shop, and she'd be able to give me stuff, or the totems. If I had collected enough totems, I'd be able to sort through those. And then I don't really have a quest right now, but I can talk to Neith. And since I have the cleave ability, now I can use it to fill up that hole over there. I need to find a block to get it. She's like, "Oh, there's one up north," so I go up north, and this is the new quest I added. So now I can click, and it's like, "Oh, find a push block." If I look at quests, it's under side quests. Okay.
So when you're doing that push for hint thing, what quest is it going to give you a hint about? Just like the top of the list, or
yeah, the top of the list. You can see my objectives in the top left corner there, and it'll give you the one. And actually, that's a good question. So I'll go up here and and there's Odin here, and he's angry, and he's like, "You're not in a good mood. Buzz off!" And then you run away. And like that's what happens anytime you run up to him because he's just angry. But it's like, oh, I gotta get to the push block up there because that's where the push block is, right? And you can't. Oh no, he's angry. So, and this is one of the things like I'll obviously have to play test eventually because it's like, is it gonna occur to people to go back to Neith? And I'll have to rewrite this, but it's like, oh yeah, Odin's having a bad day, blah 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 blah. And then she's like, I had a talk with him, and he's gonna let you help him out, or something like that. So now you can go back up, talk to Odin, and that quest already existed. So there's two active quests now. There's talk to Odin and find the push block. So okay. I still have find the push block, and then there's talk to Odin is actually the main quest because that's like the main thing I have to do. And if I want. Ooh, I should actually change that. So, because right now the objectives disappear when I go into quests, but if I select one, that should make it my priority. So now talk to Odin is on top, but if I select the find there, that one's on top. So, and I was pressing A there to confirm. I'll need to build some stuff into the UI to like show that you've pressed it and stuff like that. Or there actually should. Yeah. I'll just add that to some confirmation thing. I think there's. Oh yeah. I added because there's little checkboxes that show up once you've completed that step, but there's nothing to show what your currently tracked one is, or what the one that'll show up when you do the hint. So I'll probably add something for that. So yeah, now I can talk to him, and I can get past him.
Now and then you get the block.
Yep, found the block. Now I got to put it back. But I also, if I wanted to now, I can just move it out of the way and head to the Norse realm. And then I can continue down that quest line, but I'll finish this one first. Because this is just the side quest. And this is a lot more pushing of the block than I'd normally put in. We actually increased the scale of this. The village is now double in size. So, something that... Like, we'll play around with it. I think I'll try and get this size to work. But basically, the only thing I'm worried about... Okay, so now I talk to Neith. Oh, I'll have to leave. Because it only updates the dialogue when it's gone, so you have to leave and come back so she's playing the right dialogue.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's a little area back there. Fixing it up might be a nice project. So that's the thing, is this is going to be the first step in a series of quests. And like, okay, right now, you can see that there's the explosive blocks there, so I'm not going to be able to do the next part of the quest until I get that, to get the explosive shot. So when I get that, then I'll do the next part, and it's going to unlock a series of different things. So first thing it does is like unlocks this little area. Second thing it does is it unlocks the dungeon, and so you can go into the dungeon and it's just a random dungeon. Third thing it does is unlocks the dungeon builder. So there'll be a character here that you can walk up to and be like, oh yeah, you can customize this dungeon now if you want. And then the last thing it unlocks, this series of quests, will be the puzzle builder. So there will be another person you can talk to where like, hey, you can build custom rooms for the dungeons if you want. And that'll be how we tutorialize everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then that goes along with a lot of other things that improve the village hub area, because like after every world, you unlock a new person that's like gonna help you out. Like we just unlocked the totems after you finish the prologue, or I shouldn't say every world, after every chapter. So after the prologue, you unlock the dojo, and in the dojo there's the respec menu, so you can go up to Neith in the dojo. For training, she gives you practice tips, but also you can go to your skills, and then assign points and respec and stuff. And I don't know if we talked about this before, but I added all the stuff for like what things are actually going to do if you respec, and you can see
so like the cost and all that.
Yeah, you can see like my current level and the next level. So like that's how much stamina I'm getting every time. That's how much health. That's my current health and what it'll be when I put in points. And I can assign 10 points at a time.
I like that. 10 points at a time.
That's super handy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all pretty cool. And so yeah, I'm going to be doing a ton of quests over the next. I imagine I'll have all these done before Christmas, because like the hardest part, like every time I shift from one thing to the other, like I was doing a bunch of UI stuff recently, and then now I had to shift to building all the quests, and it's like technically implementing the quests is ridiculously easy. Like I can probably do it on stream, but it's like just it's a lot of text, so it's kind of hard to see. The most difficult thing is figuring out is writing the dialogue and figuring out like what is the context of this quest, because like we're gonna have quests like here. You can see actually unlock all the abilities. So now in the menu you can see here, so you don't actually unlock all of these abilities right now in the game. There is nowhere to unlock evasion, so we're going to need a side quest for that. Same thing for critical damage, pierce, knockback, and charge. So I'm going to be building quests for all those. We're going to try and do about 3 quests per world, and then it's basically like after you finish the world, and maybe unlock another ability. Like in World 1, there's the crit path, and then there's secret side areas that you get into when you unlock different abilities. And then basically once you unlock the ability to get into that side area, then a new NPC will appear in the main village hub. And they'll give you a quest to go back to the first world to go to that side area.
Nice.
Okay, so just so there's more stuff to do. Encourage you to go back and
exactly. So to let you know that there's reasons to go back. And like one of the quests here for Neith for fixing up your little area, I figure what we'll do is we'll have her send you to the market in World 3 to buy something. It's like, oh yeah, we need this for this area. Can you go to the market? And it'll be like, it'll be 10,000 gold or something like that. And that'll give you a reason to go back and explore. Because the thing that never gets really explained to the players is after you finish World 3 and fix the market, if you leave and come back, then every world after that you can buy a map for that. Well, every world you can buy a map for, so you can just go back there, buy a map for World 4, for World 1, World 2, and then World 5 when you unlock it, and even Dreams Reach, the village hub. So we'll encourage having these side quests will encourage people to go back and revisit places and explore new things and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. The thing I'm worried about, I'll say, with the size, but I think it's not a huge problem because we have these paths that kind of show you where the interesting places to go are. Yeah. So like when you first enter the village, it's like you go in and then like you see kind of the save point. There's something interesting down here, and Neath will
Don't
be
worry too much
standing
about
around
that.
here.
I wouldn't worry
Yeah.
too much about that. I can force that with like we'll put actual like trim on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
We'll add
But it's
we'll make it more interesting. There'll be like
no, for
gazebos
sure.
and crap and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not that it isn't interesting. It's that
Yeah.
it's not going to be. Yeah, I'm worried that like the one thing that was a problem before I had that quest in is like, is the player actually going to be able to find Odin before they get to World 2 and figure out that quest? Because he's really far north, and if there's all this stuff here, like they could wander around, they could go everywhere, and not
Yeah.
even think to go up north, right? So we need to make sure that naturally along their paths they cross paths, like they see Inanna as they're walking past. So we'll probably move her a bit forward so you actually see her like when you're taking this path. I guess you kind of do, but it's like because we want it basically if you're going along this path like here, you'd be able to, we want to be able to see the brothers from where we are right now, right? And when we have the armory, you're going to want to see Odin from here. But as it is right now, because he's supposed to block your path to World 2, so he has to be really far north.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't even be in the town at that point because he's not really there yet technically.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's some stuff, but I think it's all solvable. But we have a lot more space now because we're gonna have the way it was before would have been way too crowded when we started adding extra NPCs that had the side quests. So now because we're gonna have we have the actual like the character named characters, let's call them named characters, and then we're gonna have generic NPCs that show up and they might have a name, they might just be villager, they might be, something random.
It might be a Kickstarter goal.
Yeah, it might be. It might be a Kickstarter backer. That could be one of our things. Is like, hey, if you pledge this much, you can be a quest giver in our game.
Ooh, a named person in your game.
Yeah.
No, I think what Zin did is in Moon Hunters is you send him a picture and he'll actually make you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's what he did for me. I'm in that game and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the idea I had for our Kickstarter if we do one was basically we'd have like because we were gonna do sort of like our character builder, right? Like let's go back to the main menu. And it wouldn't be a player character, but we do sort of something similar where we'd have like a few options for like hair color, hairstyle, or like just basically hairstyle, like clothes, and that's it. And what we'd have is we'd have a bunch of different combinations that could end up being, or skin tone to anything that's super easy. Like any kind of color is super easy. So it could be like hair color, skin tone, dress color, and style. And then we could have just you pick those four, or you pick those 3 or 4 or whatever, and go with that. And then when that's part of the Kickstarter survey, and then it's basically like, oh, you've made your own character. Yeah, so we just have like, yep. And then that's a backer thing, and it's just, I even know how I'd execute it. Like basically, let's go back to this. There's so many little bugs I fixed over the last couple days where it's like one of those was, now when you're continuing a game, it automatically selects the character from that save. It used to always just select the first character in the saved character list, but now it's like all these little quality of life things that I'm like, a real game would actually do this. So
Nice.
yeah. And then the other ones I fixed over the weekend were like, it's stuff nobody, even if we're doing playtests, like nobody would notice. Like, so the way the quest system works is, as soon as one quest completes, it basically unlocks the next quest. Even if you saw like there wasn't any quest objective to go talk to Odin, there's what it is there's a hidden objective. But what should happen is if the objective is hidden, it doesn't actually add anything to the UI when you go into like the quest menu. So it shouldn't actually add anything to the UI. But it was adding it to the UI anyway, and you just have like this empty thing there that would say Odin's favor, but nothing underneath it. So I fixed the bug where it's like, oh, that's not adding it to the UI. It's not popping up when you get a new quest, because when you get a new quest, it pops up and says new quest or quest completed and stuff like that. So it won't do that if it's hidden now. And it's like nobody knew about that. Nobody playing the game knew about that. There's no way Phil knew about that. And
I'm
like,
not.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, but that's the stuff I'm doing. And then all the other stuff with like the display options. I don't know if I posted this in the Discord chat, but yeah, so there's like, you can individually turn things off, like damage text. Let's go down here. So for the longest time, we've had like the back button on the controller toggles verbose mode. So like you can see there's damage text. I can press the back button and that should turn on. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's a bug. Anyway, but yeah, so I can go into the options menu now and hit display, turn off damage text. And now there's no damage text. And same thing. I'll go over to the dungeon and fight a monster, and I'll show you the other stuff. So it's still all on by default, but I got this turned off if you want. Ooh, I'm running it in the editor, and it hadn't built any of the dungeon stuff.
Everything's loading all at once.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there's
okay. There we go.
there.
Okay. There's
Just
a turtle.
fell in the doorway.
Okay, so let's see now. Options, display, enemy health text. So now you can't see the number for their health. Okay. Display, enemy. Let's turn off their names. So now you can't see their names, but you can still see their health. And then turn off the health bar. Don't see anything. You can, so...
Well, why would you do that?
well, some people like playing minimalist. Like, there's options to do that in Zelda, and people just like, I don't know, it helps with immersion, maybe.
Alright.
And then there's ability names as well.
Yeah, they do.
So,
They have little health bars.
Oh,
yeah.
It was like the Wind Waker and the other ones. They all had like, you just hit them 3 times and they died. They didn't have a health bar, I thought. The old one, not that Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild has health bars for sure. I'm trying to think if Wind Waker had health bars.
I don't think so.
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I think we hit
Oh,
them 3 times and
Some of them have those like heart things.
Oh, that's
Those-
okay.
I can't remember though. It's been a long time since I played Wind Waker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check the icons, because I think that's the wrong X icon. And that pops up. It's usually different. And then, yeah, the other one I can turn off is ability names, so now it doesn't say cleave when I do cleave attack or side swipe or anything like that. And I can turn them all back on. And then I also added the option for the player helmet. So once we get helmets
see your head.
Yeah, you'll either see your hairstyle or the helmet that comes with the armor that you have. Yeah.
we'll probably default it so it's on, so our precious work doesn't get lost. But
Yeah.
but it will do the opposite.
That is a per player option though too. Like if
Yeah.
So like if player 1 enters the menu, it might say something different if player 2 enters the menu and chooses helmet on or off, because that'll only affect the player that is pressing the button.
Yeah. The menu doesn't pause the game, does it?
Sorry?
The menu doesn't pause the game, though, does it?
Yeah, it pauses the game.
Oh no.
What,
Yeah.
you want a Dark Souls
You don't
style
want that?
Yeah.
No, we're not making Dark Souls, man. This is not a hardcore game. Come on.
Not about Dark Souls, but just sort of like, have the action keep going as you, no matter who's playing. I don't know.
Nah, it's not that kind of game, man.
Okay. And yes, I like Dark Souls.
Yeah, I love that game too, but I don't think it fits in this.
It does not.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it is loud in here. Because all the water coming up and stuff like that. I can barely hear you guys sometimes.
Can't even hear it, so...
I know. If you watch it on Discord, you'll hear it, but it's the way it's set up, it's kind of hard to... Like, Discord doesn't share the sound from the game very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I went by and fixed all the placement of all the... Oh, it's weird that one's wet. I wonder how that got wet. It's not in the water, but they're all snapped to the ground now in the water. Yeah, so I set up the first quest in that chain. So the next thing I'll do over this week is set up the rest of the quest. So, well, like something that actually should happen too, because this is now permanent. Usually, puzzle objects get reset to like when you leave and come back. We don't have any persistency with puzzle objects, but the ones for this area will have some persistency. So now this one will always be here instead of blocking the way to the Norse area.
Yeah. Stays unlocked, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so because you're basically building your like homesteading is what it's called in a lot of generic game design, where it's like, oh yeah, you're building up the HUD and making it better by doing quests and stuff. And same thing with the thing that's blocking there. Thing I'll have to do is like there's a few like ability integrations I'll have to make, because this is basically like a 4-stage puzzle to get everything working. So like, do I just want to do the explosive shot to get in there, or because you'll have the quake and the dodge as well, and if you just like this, the dodge completely bypasses. Whoop, yeah, there we go. So I think the dodge completely bypasses that. Ooh, I'm going like super slow. There's some weird bugs here with the dodge. Get out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you're in the water when you're over that thing.
Yeah, maybe I never exited the water properly or something.
Want me to write these down?
Yeah, sure.
Jock, I'm looking right now. I think you're right. It doesn't show any health bars in Wind Waker.
Good Wind Waker?
But it's probably because like most of the enemies are only like 1 hit.
Yeah, they're only
I think
a
lot of them are 3 hit too. You
Yeah,
hit them 3 times and then that's it.
Yeah, because we have enemies that you hit once and they die, like the small ones, and then we have ones that are huge that you need to hit multiple times, and you try and get their weak points or deflect their attacks back. Yeah, I wonder. I'm just gonna load my last save here. But yeah, so I'll be setting up all the like dungeon builder stuff and everything in there, and it slowly unlocking it over the course of the game. So that should be fun. And then setting up all those other quests. Like I said, the hardest part is going to be like figuring out the context for them and then writing the dialogue.
So I'll just keep adding this to the November playtests. There's only like 5 in there, and you did 4 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Add space though. So that was it. Like water exit didn't work properly.
Well, yeah, I don't know exactly what was causing that. It might be something with the dodge as well, because I wasn't able to dodge.
Player slowdown.
Yeah. Yeah, because now I have trouble dodging again. I think I'll just add a thing in there. Oh, my clone!
Nice.
Stuck moonwalking on that.
Yeah,
whoa, what's that?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think it has less to do with the water and more to do with just the. I guess I'm not going slower there. Yeah, there are definitely some bugs with the dodge.
We're on Doge related. There was another bug that was in the dungeon. I forgot to write that one down.
I don't know. We have it on the stream, so I'll just check it tomorrow, I guess.
Alright.
I usually just rewatch the stream and then fix the stuff we forgot to write down.
Oh, that's smart.
So yeah, I got a lot of space in here. The one thing about, because like the dungeon builder is fine, like it takes up the space of a dungeon, and since we unload everything above ground and then you just run into the dungeon, like this is all the space it takes up, and then we'll have like a character standing like right here that you talk to, that's the shop. But the problem with the and I talked about this with Jacques already. Like the problem with the puzzle builder is it takes up the space of like a full. Well, it can possibly take up the space of a full 2x2 room.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is basically like it will not fit in this little area. And like I could make the area bigger, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So what I'll probably do is build like a little, like you walk up to the person and walk up to the character, and it's a shop you go into, right? That's how it works in the other level. That's how it'll work in this. And what we'll do is, it'll in the shop, it'll basically teleport you to another area of the map where you can run around and test stuff. And then as soon as you leave, it'll teleport you back here.
Yes, so you don't have to change it at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it just like stares down to somewhere or whatever. Teleporting, it doesn't matter.
Yep. It's just because we don't want to take up that amount of space here anyway. If it's just isolated by itself, that's probably better. I think what I'll do for this too is after you do that, I'll just put a flat piece of collision on top, so you don't have to like worry about getting stuck in the middle there. Which is hard to do when I want to do it, but there we go. Yeah. Yeah. We can still hit it. Boom. Yep. And now I'm stuck.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, I went over a lot of that stuff, and it's only like 28 minutes in. We got some more concept art for Neath. That was good. That's coming along.
Ooh.
And we got some more branding stuff back. You want to talk about that, Chuck?
Yep. So it looks like we're ready to kind of unveil our new nameplate logo. It's just simply we have our colors, kind of our corporate colors done. The funny thing is like every time I showed it to some other people, they're like, is that really what you're kind of going for? But it's like they don't really distinguish the game from the brand.
Oh,
Like,
right. Yeah.
It's our corporate branding. It's like our
it's
like our
something.
Letterheads and stuff like that. And then we're gonna move on to our game branding next. Just completely different thing. And then so I guess the Neath concept is finished. We're probably going to wait a little bit longer before we kind of unveil it. Maybe even when we get a couple more of the other characters finished as well.
Yeah, sure.
And it's pretty exciting. Like the art's moving along.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Something. Yeah. Do you think so? You're watching the stream right now, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to show you something really quick. Do you think you could do a quick Photoshop mock-up of like basically this screen?
Of that screen?
Yeah. Don't worry about the background, but just like with the new branding and stuff.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then if you just do a quick Photoshop mock-up, then I'll basically recreate it in OBS, and we'll have it for next week.
Oh, you mean just like the live stream starts?
Yeah, just the name, just the name, the logo. Here, I'll turn off the. Where is this? Stream intro. If I basically just this.
Yeah, pretty much. I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, just because this looks as amateur as possible, pretty much. So if we do it, but yeah, just the font, the logo, and any colors you want to throw in there, and then just send me the PSD file, and I'll convert it into
perfect
an OBS thing, and that'll be our new intro for next week. So look forward to that.
Cool.
It'll probably be a lot more plain than what you've got, like not panning the dungeon or whatever. But
no, just the mask.
Well, yeah, you just need to do the mask.
Yeah, because
panning
it's transparency. Yeah.
But because the other thing, like, I don't know, is there anything particular you think would be good for a background for that kind of stuff, or what would you like to do? Because I could record some of the games somewhere.
I'll probably look at other streams, and see what they're doing. But probably, I mean, in my mind, it should just be a flat color. But what do I know? The countdown, but maybe that's not the best thing. I'll take a look at what others. The others probably have, I'm guessing, a piece of key art to go with it.
Yeah, probably.
So,
well, usually there's some motion graphics in there too, though, because it's a stream or it's a screen that's like we'll be back soon or something like that, and there's some kind of motion in it. It's not usually just static.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you could like fade between your pieces of key art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably do some motion graphic thing then.
Cool.
Once we get it'd be nice if we actually got like an animator do like 500 idles for us and have the character idling there, like dancing, like waving side to side or something.
I love how I'm like, oh yeah, no, I could just record a section of the game somewhere, and you're like, oh yeah, no, we should get an animator to do like 1,000 idles, and I'm like, one of these is in our budget, Jock. One of them is not.
Yeah. What happened to the flat color?
Go from completely flat color static image to hire an animator to do like 1,000.
500 animations. Yeah. That's the leap. It's all or nothing.
Well, how about this? Bjorn, you could just have you in the corner on the camera there doing a little dance.
Doing a little dance, yeah.
Pointing up to the numbers or something.
Wait, which direction do I point? There we go. Gotta make sure my fingers don't hit the edge of the camera. I get blurred out.
And then you can just loop it.
Nice.
Yeah. Another thing we could do is we could have something like what's on screen right now, where it's you talking to a character, and the character's just saying the stream will start in this amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that wouldn't be bad, because like basically all we need is like if we dress up an area, or we have an area that looks a bit better. Like I could flesh this out with a bit more grass and have a few things in here, and just have like we just have the character talking to like somebody, and it just says like talk, and then you just have like instead of the text there, we'll zoom in a bit, but we just have the text there that says like the stream will be starting in this many minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's because there's the little bit of motion from the bubble going up, scaling up and down, and then like the idles of the characters.
Yeah. I'll see what other games are doing before I just say.
Well, the thing is, like other games, like what exactly are you going to be looking for in terms, like other game developers that stream stuff? Like, because there's not many.
There's not. Okay, then never mind.
It's basically a
point of reference.
It's basically a loading screen. Is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I'll think of something for motion graphics. You know what? And I'm not even bothered with what we have. So.
Because that's the thing is like I could like just grab a newer video of the dungeon builder with some random stuff in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That works. Even like that works. Mm-hmm. Maybe even just like a fade so you could see the actual text a bit better. Have like some of the color kind of overlaid on top so you can actually see the text a bit better. But I mean, I'm fine with whatever you got right now.
Okay.
Until we have the budget to do all the proper things.
Well, that's the thing is I don't think we should be spending a lot of money on that like stream starting in like 10 minutes kind of video. Like if we can't do that ourselves, then we're in trouble.
Yeah. It'd probably be reusable art though. Like I mean, it's probably I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's it'll be something that we'll use again somewhere. So
I think I think you should think about it like this will be your loading screen, and then just use it on the Twitch.
Yeah, our loading screens will probably be key art.
Yeah, kind of like fading and slowly like panning around.
Yeah, with like a few different like blurbs about the game or something.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And then you can just
do that because we already have like all the enemy key art, right? Or like sketches of the rough sketches of the enemies. Yeah,
I could probably start putting those in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good as the ones that we just got done, though. But
yeah.
Yes. Anyway, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I actually kind of like the feeling of this Dreams Reach being a lot bigger now. But it means I think I'm going to have to do more filling it in to make it look more kind of. Unless you kind of like the look of it kind of being this spread out. I personally think it needs to have like more sidewalk trims, more kind of populated areas in there, so that anytime you kind of load the screen, it's not like an empty area.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I added the dithering to the trees, and so you can see through the trees, but also because there's a problem we talked about. I don't know if that's a good global solution. I just put it on this one because you have to do it on a per actor basis, I think. But it's because typically what happens, because we have the outline effect when you walk behind stuff, typically what happens is it just like puts the outline on, but it also adds extra outline for all the places where it can actually see through. Yeah.
So one thing I have to ask about this, though, because this is kind of where a lot of problems occur. Would you see effects through this?
You can see effect. Well, yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? Yeah, okay, there you go. Never mind. Question answer. I guess with dithering it's a bit easier than like an alpha or transparency, because
the thing is,
like punching out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too. Like, this is the higher resolution you do this at, the better it looks, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's like Tomb Raider did dithering. A lot of modern games did dithering. It's not something that people like turn up their nose at or like that have a big fuss about anymore.
Yeah. That's cool. It just the tree trunks are a bit. You can see the back facing of the tree trunks. So.
Well, I mean, these are placeholder trees, Jack. Come on.
Yes, I know. Jeez.
I mean, if you change those to pink, they would look like cotton candy. The little sticks.
The little sticks out of them,
That's cool. Yeah, the scale of it, everything looks a lot bigger now. But yeah.
But because I remember we were talking about things being claustrophobic. Like, I don't know, it doesn't. Would you say claustrophobic? Like, because you had basically buildings butting up against each other around the side, and that, like, to me, that doesn't feel claustrophobic. That's just like, okay, it's like a strip mall, or like I don't know what you call it, but like the rest of it is fairly open. So that's not claustrophobic. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Well, so this way it's still kind of each quarter will have its own thing, and I think ultimately what I'd like to do with it is have each quarter kind of look and feel a touch different than each other. That makes sense. So the dojo is going to have like one style of architecture. Obviously the consumables is going to be the giant boat. So it'll be cool.
I adjusted the speed of this guy so he doesn't like zip after you, and I gave him less health. I think I'm level 8 right now, so he has a lot more health than he would have if you start the game. And he probably does a lot more damage, so he's going to kill me in one hit if I let him hit me, so better back off.
Look out!
Bounce! Shotgun! Ooh, man.
Nice.
I did not put any points into stamina. I should do that. Anyway. Yeah, so and we have a lot more space to play around with there, and I think because I think the way it was laid out before, it was just too cramped. Yeah, it should be a lot better now. What else? There was something else I wanted to bring up.
The other thing is I was wondering about Odin. So you need Odin, you need to go up north to kind of see where that is. I was wondering, you don't want Odin like wandering down around the center, and then when you finally talk to him, you follow him up north.
No, because he blocks your path when you first, and he's angry and he's blocking your path. Because we don't want you to be able to go to the Norse area without first talking to Odin, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because if he's just walking down there, then you can just bypass him and just go straight up.
All right.
But it's fine now because we have that side quest that's like, oh, hey, can you go get this push block? You go up there and he's blocking your path, and it's like, okay, well, I got to get around him somehow.
Oh, okay. It's like an organic way of doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I got rid of the bridge. I don't know. I never got your feedback on that, but basically, so after you finish World 3, there's a raft in the water, and after you
nice.
finish, I've unlocked the ability, so I can do this out of order now. But you can use Quake to go up here, call the raft.
That raft's got a shadow.
Yeah, star.
Nice, I like that. So that way we don't have the bridge, the awkward
don't have the bridge.
That...
We could even make it so like this raft only shows up when, or like this is their like little boat, or like this is the dinghy that they had, the life preserver or something from their bigger ship or something. Like we could dress it up like that.
So that boat is supposed to be like the entire quarter, I guess. It's supposed to be kind of like a pretty decent sized boat. And then I thought, oh well, with a bridge, it's not going to look very.
It's not going to look realistic. That it's like, oh, where were they going to fit under that bridge? Where were they going?
Yeah, it looked kind of weird. I also thought it was kind of like one of those things where if you're going to do like an entire like level worth of quests, try and build a boat. It should probably look like you spent a lot of time on it. So like it should look pretty epic. It shouldn't be like, oh, here's a canoe. Like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, here's a canoe. Why did you need me to get this a mast for your canoe?
Yeah, you've got rudders for this canoe? Okay.
Yeah, like right now this raft is bigger than their boat.
Yeah. It's cool. It'll work.
And I can bring it on to land. Oh, yeah.
Whoa, land boat. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can it attack enemies? Like if you
No, you probably get an enemy on it. You can't attach balloons to it though and have it float up.
Airship?
Yeah, I'll probably add some blockers so you can't put it on the land. Like it does function, like it stops floating and stuff, but it's just sliding along the ground.
Take it into the Asgard. Take it into the
Take it into town. Get the sail upgraded. Put some wheels on it.
Oh yeah, this is so I don't know if we're still gonna do this, but I made like the sign for like Patrons Pub for all the dreamers that made this possible. That's for the Kickstarter thing I was talking about earlier, if we end up doing that.
So that'll be like a lower than the NPC, make yourself an NPC thing?
Yep, you can be a named NPC, then it'd just be... Oh yeah, so, and I already know how I do it, is basically, we'd have like the stats where it's like, oh, you pick your hairstyle, color, clothes, color, style, skin tone, and everything like that. We put all that into a big spreadsheet, and then what happens is every time this place loads, we'll pick like 5 random characters from that spreadsheet, and then we'll spawn 5 NPCs and apply the settings for those 5 characters from the spreadsheet. Spawn them and have them walk around. And one of the other things too is we'd say like, you can even have a line of dialogue, and we'd have like they'd be walking around and saying their line of dialogue.
Walking around saying the profanities that they chose.
Yeah, well, we'd have something in the agreement or terms of service or something that's like, we will not accept any profanity. And they were just like, if you add some profanity, that it's like it's just gonna be a generic line, or it's just gonna be like, I'm happy or something.
I'm drunk.
I don't think we could say that because wonder if that counts as drug use, because alcohol and drugs are... So
they always make it something cute, like he's drinking the fizzy pops.
Yep, because basically that affects your rating. If you have characters that are specifically drug use, I don't know what the deal is with alcohol. So they might be more lenient with alcohol, but I remember there was a scene we had to cut from Mass Effect that involved like you getting high, because even though it would have fit our age rating fine, we didn't put drug use on our ESRB application. And it would have been fine for our game, and it wouldn't have changed our rating. But since we didn't put that in our application, we had to cut the scene. And it was just a silly scene where it's like you get high and you like you just like trip out for a bit, and it was a really funny scene. But it was like, yeah, couldn't put it in the game.
Well, I think Final Fantasy, the early like pixel Final Fantasy games are E10 for everyone. I believe there was beer and wine in there, but they're just consumables, and that might have just been a translation thing.
Maybe E10 didn't exist when the early Final Fantasy games came out, though. That was only like mid to late 2000s that they actually came up with that rating.
Yeah. So
and
what,
a lot of
sorry, I guess it's with the Wii. This is the Wii platform. What was the original ESRB
Final Fantasy
rating?
for Wii?
What?
That doesn't sound right.
Final Fantasy 3 for. I'm on the ESRB website, so it says it's for the Wii.
No,
no,
maybe it's a remake.
The Virtual Console then.
Probably Virtual Console, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they're saying it was stuff like the violent sequence during a cutscene, someone getting jailed, punching a woman, throwing her off a cliff.
I think there's also like, because it's cartoon violence.
Yeah,
like it's you can do a bit more when it's not realistic and it's just like pixel characters. But if it's like realistically like Heavy Rain or like one of those David Cage games where it's like they try and be as realistic as possible.
Okay, so the other one seemed to be T for Teen. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with it. It's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it because it's just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Oh, a reference to alcohol is actually still E10.
E10?
There it is.
Okay, alcohol is E10. Okay.
It's reference to it. I don't think you can get drunk in it, but it's just like, hey, you have a beer in the game, right? And then there's a consumable called beer, and it lowers your stats or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you have characters that are like, hey, we're at the pub and we're drinking. Oh, this beer is delicious, but they don't get drunk or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like a lot of like we were talking about Zelda earlier. They all drink milk.
That's true. Yeah.
But Zelda, I believe, is now E10 because any sort of like combat at all, you get that 10 label on.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very hard to have any kind of. I don't even know if I'd call it violence, but any kind of like combat, like that basically gets you E10 immediately.
I think it'd be like Cooking Mama is E.
I think the only exception,
like a puzzle game, maybe.
There was a weird thing I looked at. I think it was like some of the Lego games. They had different ratings on console than they did on the DS.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I think it was just. Like, I don't think there's less violence or anything on the ones on the DS, because you're still just like, when you hit something in that, they just explode into Lego pieces, right?
Yeah.
And I guess on the DS version, it was just less pixels or something. So it's just, since it's rendered at a lower resolution, it's like, well, it's not that bad.
What? That's weird.
I don't know. I didn't actually look at the games on console versus, or what you actually did in the game on console versus DS, but. Yeah, there was one was E10, one was E for everybody. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to do. Just checking. I don't think that bot posted.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that. Oh well. Yeah, maybe I'll do some tests tomorrow or something. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we kind of ran out of steam, and it's 9:50. we could call it. I don't know what else to show, because I showed like the stuff I did over the weekend. The thing is, I was really happy about like this display stuff. And the thing with the quests displaying, like hidden quests and stuff like that, because that was stuff that was like, that I was putting off, and I was like, yeah, I'll get that. I'll get to that when I have nothing else to do. And I literally had nothing else to do, so I was like, well, I guess I got to do that now. But now I'm like, wow, that means, and that's why I'm doing side quest stuff now, because I'm like, wow, that means like we've come a really long way. And that was my highest priority, and it was way easier than I thought it was to fix. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm really happy with the state the game is in right now. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So all I need to do is make an art push.
Yep, just beat it with a production stick, I think is what did that guy say? Who was the guy that said that? It's the guy who did Braid and The Witness.
Oh, Jonathan Blow.
Jonathan Blow, yeah, I think, because, the way he described it is, like, he basically made The Witness, he made the entire game playable from start to finish, and then he was just like, okay, now I just have to beat it with a production stick, and that's when he hired a whole team to, like, actually, like, I don't know, do all the art and animations and everything.
Wow. Well, yeah, it looks like you're doing the same thing.
Evidently, that wasn't intentional. That's just the way it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, something. Since we're doing playtests, something I wanted to look at. We're still on stream, by the way. I haven't bothered to turn it off. But since we're doing playtests, something I thought I should look into is like Steam. Because if we're doing playtests, because they have like alpha stuff on Steam, so you can we can add our game to Steam, and then we can give people alpha keys, and then when we upload a new build to Steam, then they can it'll update their version automatically, and we can do stuff like that. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be handy.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to control and stuff like that. So
you can build your store page and stuff too.
Yep, build a store page.
Be easier. Yeah.
Have like early access stuff. We need a lot more stuff to build the store page though. Like we're nowhere near having any final art or anything like that for the store page. like Jacques isn't even happy with anything we have for our stream intro. And I mean, I can see right now we have 2 viewers. Are both of you watching the Twitch stream?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay, so we have one mystery viewer. It might be a bot. Is that you? Who's Cast of Crabs?
That's me, yeah.
That's you. Okay. So I don't know who the other person is. There's a bot that offered for me to become famous.
Don't you want to be famous, Bjorn?
No, I don't. That's why I got into the game industry. So nobody would know who I was, and I could work on things in private and maintain my privacy.
Yeah. I don't know who this other person is, but
I haven't.
They could also be a bot, but
it could be. I guess I didn't really think this through. Me showing my face on Twitch, keeping my privacy and all.
That's one of those things where, unfortunately, you have to kind of. Isn't that the indie game dev thing where you actually have to kind of, unfortunately, become known? Because people have to relate to you. Well, I say that cynically, but it's like it helps a lot if people know that the game is being made by a human being and not a faceless corporation. I also think a lot of it has to do with people are not just buying your product; they're kind of buying into what your company, like the ethos.
Well, they're kind of becoming part of a community, right? It's like Are these people I could see myself hanging out with, doing the streams every Monday night? It's like, would people want to come and hang out and see us talk about the game on a stream, or just hear me talk and hear us talk and joke about stuff? And do they want to do that when they see news, or are they going to come to our Discord and that's where they get their gaming news and talk about the latest things, like the latest consoles and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You're a lifestyle brand now.
Yeah, there's that.
People are gonna want to get your recipes and watch you do yoga.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have to learn yoga now. This is gonna be. Really, I mean, that could be. I feel like that could be a skit if we. This video game thing doesn't take off. We could do sketch comedy, and one of them could just be me trying to do yoga.
So funny. I remember, like, I hadn't really watched a lot of like game dev streams, but I do watch like a lot of art streams, and they're kind of all set up way differently, because it's sort of like a lot of the times it's either them like working in real time, and they're usually on Twitch as well. It's usually them like sculpting in real time or whatever, or it's like a speed up of them, like a time lapse of them doing a very elaborate thing over the course of like a week, and then they just talk over it for like 3 hours or 2 hours or something.
Oh god!
So it's always one of those two, and they're interesting.
Yeah, I have a friend that she's actually streaming right now. But I can send you her intro, which is pretty good. She's actually a graphic designer, and she she's playing Dragon Age Inquisition right now, but she has like sort of motion graphics, and she used to do modeling, so she knows like photographers got her makeup done, and it's an image of her, but there's motion graphics in it too, where like her hair is moving and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's not exactly what we should do, but it's like I think it's a good example of like what an intro screen could be.
Yeah, but even then, like I'm not too worried about what we have right now. Like I'll tweak it with the font and the new, the new logo, the nameplate we have, but and the updated font and colors. But aside from that, it's like I'm not too concerned right now.
Yeah.
Because I think also is like maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people might be curious, like to kind of see the evolution of what everything looks like if they kind of see what the first streams look like, and then we kind of see throughout the development of production what it kind of turns into. I think that'll be kind of cool.
No,
like
for sure.
Thing.
It's funny because it's kind of comparable to a lot of the YouTube channels I watch, and a frequent question that a lot of YouTubers get are like, are there any videos that you wish you could go back and redo? And the frequent answer is like, all of them. There's problems with all of them. I hate them all. And, but it's like, for us, it's like, it's fun to see the evolution of like how inept we were at the start and where we are now, and that's the whole point of it, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what we'll do next week. We'll have to figure something out. I guess we'll have branding done, so we can talk a bit about that. We could do. I don't know.
Whatever you work on, right? Yeah.
It's gonna be more quests. It's gonna be. I told you what I'm gonna be doing next week, and it's gonna be working on the quests related to this thing. So I'll probably have it done by next week. It's because all the stuff I need is already in. It'll just be like, if I can come up with decent dialogue, write some decent dialogue for like why you're doing everything, and like kind of decent context and justification for it. Because right now it's like, oh, you're doing a favor to fill up that hole for Neith, and I think it's probably going to be something like, she's asking you to do all these things as a favor, but the end result is like, oh, it's something beneficial to you. So she's like, oh yeah, now you can do this, and blah 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 blah. And then it's about making this place your own, and it starts off kind of barren like this. And I don't know if we can do like kind of like dusty or cobwebs or anything like that, or like this is boarded up or something, and it's like, oh yeah, no, and then you're basically fixing it up, and then it's all shiny and new by the time you're done. Yeah, so I'll be working on that. And yeah, cool. And since it all already exists in the other Dungeon Builder map, that it's just like porting it all over and then just making sure it only gets loaded in, because I already have systems for only loading in levels when the game is in a specific state. So I can be like, is this quest active? Then load in this sublevel. Is this quest completed? Then load in this sublevel. And so it's super easy to just be like, all right, yep. So this is the order everything gets loaded in. Once this quest is complete, load in this level, and blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. Super easy, because I spent all that time setting it up. It's great.
Cool.
All right, I guess I'll call it for the stream. Goodbye.
Oh, actually,
other viewer who is unknown to me.
Eugene, probably.
It could be.
Take care, guys.